Stocks in 4 years since pandemic shutdowns. A worldwide sell-off starting here and into overseas markets. Trillions of market value wiped out as Wall Street warns the U.S. is heading into a recession, possibly. We had a surprisingly weak U.S. jobs report for July, just 114,000 jobs. That pushed the NASDAQ into a correction. Let's welcome to the show former presidential candidate, the former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. Governor, great to have you on again. Sir, you've run for office. The timing of this, a possible recession hitting the 2024 race. Do you trust Kamala Harris to handle a presidency to handle a recession?
I don't trust her to handle a press conference, which she hasn't done in 12 days. This is a person who's going to have to run on a record that she helped create called Bidenomics. It's really working out great for the American people. Every cost they have has gone up so dramatically that people are trying to take turns having dinner at the family table. And getting a tank of gas requires selling a kidney. Bidenomics is a failure, and all we need to do is forget about her origin or ethnicity. All that stuff is nonsense. What we need to talk about is the policy, not the personalities, not the party. We need to talk about policy. That's what Americans care about because that's what's hitting them right in the gut.
Yeah, there are zero policy positions on her campaign website. You know, but by the way, your point's well taken, Governor, because we looked at the math. It's something like 300 million people are either in the middle class or working class. They're feeling like they are in a recession. We got Wall Street pros like top economist Mohamed El-Erian, also the FT. Politico, they're now warning the U.S. is likely heading into a downturn. So does Kamala Harris own this downturn if we're heading into a recession? Because she's now trying to blame Trump when he has not been in office for 4 years.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the craziest things. It's almost like blaming an airline crash today on the Hindenburg disaster. I mean, this is insane. How anybody would take her seriously when she tries to blame Donald Trump for the current economy when he hadn't been in office in almost 4 years. I mean, my gosh, that's giving him a lot of credit for power that I bet he didn't even know he had.
Interesting. Yes, he's got interesting power that he can affect things, the economy 4 years later without making policy hitting it. Okay, so let's talk about this. You know, we checked her speeches, we checked her campaign ads. Kamala Harris is not campaigning on Bidenomics. She's not campaigning on the economy. She's avoiding any campaign ads with her and Joe Biden. You know, all those Biden rules and taxation threats and regulations, the smothering pillow of mandates really hanging up the U.S. Governor, just sit tight. I got to go through the numbers for the viewer. May and June numbers revised down by 29,000 jobs. That's about the 16th straight month of the initial government jobs number later getting revised down. More than 1 million less jobs than initially reported. You know, the thing is, Governor, jobs are a lagging indicator, meaning they're the last thing to turn south when the economy is going badly. And factoring activity, manufacturing, that ISM manufacturing index, I know I just talked a lot, it contracted to the lowest level in 4 years.
Well, but let's keep in mind what you just previewed there was the fact that when jobs are going down, it's also an indication that even if you have a job, your job isn't paying you enough to keep up with the inflation that Bidenomics has brought you. Overall, over the past 4 years, we're talking about 20%. So even if you got a pay increase of, let's just go real crazy, not 5%, which is really more generous than most Americans have seen, but let's say that you had a 10% pay increase over this period of time. You've lost 10% of your income. You're behind the 8 ball, not ahead of it. And that's where most Americans are, especially working class Americans. And so that's why they can't afford to buy a Big Mac at McDonald's or fill up their grocery cart. And if they don't understand that this is the result of policies of Bidenomics, they'll end up voting for Kamala Harris, and they'll get it even worse in the next 4 years.
You know what it is, too, Governor, and you've been in office. I mean, it's the constant downbeat, negative drumbeat of negativity out of the Biden White House. It started in 2008 out of the Obama White House, that only the government can fix everything. You just sit back. We're going to fix everything. Because you, America, you can't fix it. So let's listen to top Wall Street investor, the founder of Key Square Group. He's Scott Bessent. He was just on Larry Kudlow. We've got sound from Scott Bessent. Let's get your reaction to this.
she was Joe Biden's co-pilot in the inflation plane, and they crashed the American economy into the side of the mountain. Vice President Harris was the deciding vote for the American Rescue Plan and the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yes, that's right.
So she owns those. They would not have passed. It was 50-50. She broke the tie.
Yes, she did.
Those caused the great inflation. She was the border czar. That immigration, so, you know, I've talked about interest rates, inflation, and immigration are the things killing working class America. Tell me which one of those she doesn't own.
Right. So let me back up. Economists in Democrat administrations like Steve Ratner, Jason Furman, Larry Summers, they all say, you know, the spending has been the original sin behind inflation. Look at the Wall Street Journal poll. 52% say Trump is best able to handle the economy. What do you think of what, and voters in key swing states say that, yes, the economy is their top issue. What do you say to all this?
Well, if they're really serious about the economy being the top issue, they've got one choice, and it's Donald Trump. Because if they vote for Kamala Harris, they are not voting for their own economy, much less the U.S. economy. They're voting for increased inflation, higher jobless rates, high interest rates. We're not going to have the kind of economic turnaround we need. We've seen that. Donald Trump was president for 4 years, and if it weren't for COVID, he'd have the best economic record of any president in history. He deregulated all of the harsh things that were killing business, brought manufacturing back, cut taxes. That put money in the pockets of people. And it also lowered prices, because when businesses aren't having to pay increased taxes, they can lower their prices. That helps the consumer. When they raise taxes, they don't pay those taxes. They pass it on to the end user, the consumer. And that's who's paying it now, and it's costing everybody more than they can handle.
Governor Huckabee, have a good weekend. You worked hard there. We appreciate you joining us.